Welcome to another episode of Empowering a Nation podcast with me, Vincent Jefferson, and my special guest, the great Mario White from the Decent and in Order show. I'm going to turn it over to Mario, and he's going to tell y'all the title for the day.
It's a blessing to be on the platform again with my brother, Vincent Jefferson. I'm Mario the Great, and the topic tonight is, should we be more concerned about whites killing blacks versus blacks killing blacks, which is a very interesting topic. I know you all have seen the climate that we're in, and it's a few things that we need to address, and we're here to address it tonight.
Well, yeah, the whole reason, this question came up is because, I asked a lot of white people certain questions, and I asked them how do they feel about white police officers gunning down unarmed black people. And, I'm getting the same response from them. They're saying, well, it's bad, but they're saying black people are gunning down black people at 100 times higher rate. So they were like, well, why don't you guys go out and march and protest and try to pass laws and try to sue people and get them locked up every time a black person kill another black person at 100 times greater rate? And to be honest with you, I can't even argue with what they're saying. So that's why we are coming to you about this subject today and how it ties into the churches and the community, because I kind of agree with what they're saying, Brother Mario. What you think about what they're saying?
Well, I think it's twofold. And when we talk about bullets, it's not just the physical bullets. I would dare to say bullets can be anything that is plaguing our community. I know when people, hear the word bullets, we automatically think of someone shooting somebody down. But, in the scripture, it talks about other things that can be death. Like if you hate your brother without a cause, you're murdering him. If you talk about your brother, you're murdering him. So back to the issue that you was talking about, I think it's twofold. It's an old saying that my mom and my grandmother used to use, is that, we'll fight on the inside, but on the outside, we would be willing to address and deal with anybody on the outside. And my point that I'm making is, even though, the white people that you said that, black people, we do have a lot of issues, and a lot of people don't want to deal with the slavery issues, but we have to be honest that a lot of the things that are plaguing the black community, it was passed down through slavery. So I would dare to say that a lot of the killing and a lot of the things that go on in the black community, we learned it from watching them. And I think that the people that do what they have to do to survive in the darkness are never as guilty as the people that created the darkness. What you think about that, Brother Jefferson?
I agree with what you said. They're not guilty as the people who created the darkness. But to what you were saying, I think it's when it comes to black people killing black people, I don't think that's kind of a white issue anymore. I know back in slavery, we killed each other less. When we was under slavery and bondage, and we was more unified. So I think we have these freedoms and choices now. I understand about slavery, and some of that could be coming from slavery. But at the rate our young men are on these corners gang banging, selling drugs, stealing and robbing, and doing all other sorts of things, myself, ain't no white man put a gun in their head and say, get on that corner and sell no crack. Ain't no white man say, walk around with your pants hanging off your butt and go sell drugs to your own community and destroy your own neighborhoods. Ain't no white man got no gun in no people's head and say, go kill your brother over a block that you don't even own, that your mama renting the house on. I think that's internal. And I understand, but I do kind of agree with what they're saying. One white cop killed one black person, there's an uproar. 100 black people kill 100 black people, there's no uproar. So I think that is a valid point, not justifying any white people killing black people, but I think that's a very valid point. I think we should have the same outcry for one white officer killing one black person. I think we should have the same outcry when one black person killed another black person. And I think that's the point they was trying to make. And I think that's a very valid point, that we need to clean our own house up.
Well, getting back to the point that you made, you said that you don't think that any white people are putting guns to black people's head and making them do a whole lot of the things that they're doing.
Mm-hmm.
But I disagree. I think in a lot of ways they actually are. So to deal with the root of the issue, let's talk about jobs. Let's talk about finances, okay? You take a young black person that don't have any education, okay? You throw him into the system, okay? Now in the system...
Which system is that?
The jail system, okay? He commits a crime, you throw him into the system, he pays his debt to society. There are no educational programs in the prisons to actually rehabilitate the people. So then when they get back out here in the real world, now they can't get a job because they're a convicted felon. So now they have to go and take a meteor job at McDonald's. And come on, look at inflation. I mean, a person that's doing the right thing can barely pay their bills. So you know that a person that's making what? $8, $9, or maybe even $7 to $6 starting from a janitorial standpoint, how can they survive? So again, the people that do what they have to do to survive in the darkness are never as guilty as the people that created the darkness. And when I say that, I'm not justifying what some of the things that black people do. I mean, I'm a guy that came up in the hood, you know, so I'm in touch with a lot of the injustices and a whole lot of things that black people have to deal with. So I'm a voice for the black community. So those same people that said that, why not change a lot of the things that they have in place? I've gone to the jail facilities and they don't even want you to bring spirituality into the jail systems. So they say that, you know, they have to separate the church from the state. So if you really wanted a change and you wanted the change to be effective within the jails, how else can you rehabilitate a people if you don't introduce them to God? So I would say that a lot of the things that have been put in place is a cycle. And this cycle is actually set up for black people to fail. And a lot of times, sometimes, a few people that have actually made it out of the ghetto, I think we kind of forget that everybody may not have the same resources and the same things that were set in place for you to be blessed to make it out. Because let's be honest, everybody don't tap into the things of God, because, you know, some of those things can be so devastating to them that they don't get any counseling. And we in the black community, a lot of us don't even believe in counsel. What you think about that? And I think a lot of us really need to be counseled, because a lot of us are trying to operate and function, and we've just gone through a whole lot of things, and hurt people. So whenever you have a group of people that are hurting people, there's a root cause to the problem. And I think that the same people that say that black people are killing black people at an more alarming rate than their own people, is that they have to take some of the responsibility in that too, and understand it's not just a slavery. What about the Willie Lynch?
I agree with everything you said. Oh, the producer said, can you look in the camera? Yeah, I agree with everything you said, but at the same time, I can't put all that on the white people, because when you talked about the jail and the system, yeah, they don't probably have a lot of programs and that'll rehabilitate you. And I hear a lot of people saying, like, once you're a felon and you come out, it's hard for you to get jobs because they're not letting felons get certain type of degrees or work in certain type of field. I agree with you 100% on that. But I think one of the things, the system is messed up, I would agree. But I think one of the things is we got to teach our children God's laws, commandments, and statutes so they can stop committing the crimes in the first place.
But how can you teach it to them if they won't allow spirituality into those facilities? How can you do it?
I'm saying before they even go to jail.
Okay.
This starts at home when they're children with their parents. A lot of these parents, we talking about the black community, a lot of these black communities don't even know God's laws, commandments, and statutes. So how they going to teach them to their kids? The Bible say teach the little ones when they go to bed, when they arise in the noon, and when they go to sleep at night. Teach them God's commandments, statutes, and laws. So I think that's part one of your question. We need to teach them not to be committing these crimes as children so they can grow up and not commit them. I think the second part of your question, when you was talking about the communities and things, black people, I just think we have to start taking more responsibility for our own house. Yeah, slavery did a number on us. Willie Lynch did a number on us. But at the same time, Willie Lynch ain't out here bringing the property values down in our neighborhood. Willie Lynch ain't out here making the crime rate rise in our neighborhood. I think that's a cop-out and that's an excuse in this day and age because we can make decisions for ourselves to do right and to love the Lord and to love our brother and to keep our houses and community clean. That's a conscious decision we have to make. And I think we have to stop pointing a finger at white folks and slavery. Yeah, it's still a system in place to keep us down. But at the same time, I think if we would have done a better job, and let me give you one example. The black church bring in over $1 billion every year in the black Christian church. But you can't name one major business or corporation the black Christian church has created in the United States, and they bring in $1 billion collectively every year. If the black Christian church would take that money and start building corporations and jobs, we can hire who we want to hire, and we can hire our own people, even if there are felons. So we're going to start talking about the church in a little while too. But I think when we talk about our people not being able to get jobs, and you said be poor, I think a lot.
In the camera.
Yeah, he's always trying to get. So I started thinking when we started talking about our people not being able to get jobs and they poor and this and that, I think that has a lot to do with our elders and the people we have in charge. Because the black church bring in $1 billion or more every year collectively, and you can't name one major corporation or business the black church has built in all these years to help our people.
Well, getting back to the subject of what you said that the Europeans said that we as black people need to focus on black people killing black people. And again, I think that we as a people, some of us that have made it out, I think we kind of breeze over that too fast, as if slavery didn't do a number on our people. They did. And it's perpetuated in the black community.
So when we talk slavery is still doing a number on our people right now?
It is, because they changed it from physical slavery to modern day slavery. And the way that we as a people, we can't look for white people to help us. We as a people are going to have to help ourselves. But the only way that we can help ourselves, we have to address the things at a grass root level. And not just think that just because, from a spiritual standpoint, that we come to the Lord and everything is just going to be peaches and cream. No, there's a lot of things that are set in place that are plaguing the black community. I mean, platforms like this, you and I are trying to reach and teach people, but our young people, there are things that we are going to have to do, things that we're going to have to put in place to help them. And I just don't think that, Europeans have the right, based on all of the things that they've done in the communities, all of the lynching, all the things that they have done. I don't think that they have the right to tell us what we should be doing. That's just my take on it. Unless you're going to help the situation. And you're going to do some real things to help the situation. Like financially, things like that. Because if people don't have a way to eat, they're going to do what they have to do to eat. That's just my perspective on it.
Well, let me ask you this. Do you think that we should be standing up, protesting and marching and pushing for stricter laws for our people to stop killing our own people instead of just waiting till a white police officer and do it and get together?
But again, we also have to realize that there are a group of people that control the media, because a lot of the stuff that's going on is about who's controlling the media. So I think that we as a people have came a long way. And I think that in the media, it's designed for us as black people to think that we're not progressing. So why don't they put all of the positive stuff in the media that black people are doing? You have a whole lot of black people, spiritual people. You have a whole lot of business people that are out here doing a whole lot in the black community. But unfortunately, we don't control a lot of the media.
I agree.
So it's designed to make us think that things are getting worse and not getting better. And still, even if we are doing things at an alarming rate in the black community, it still don't justify white people shooting black people. Two wrongs don't make a right.
The white people say it's wrong, but they say we get in an uproar and we want to do all these things to try to stop it. But why ain't we doing that with our own people if they're dying at 100 times higher rate by our own hand?
I think we are.
What we doing? I ain't seeing nobody protesting, marching, going on TV trying to push for stiffer laws to stop black people from killing themselves at 100 times higher rate. I don't see nothing being done.
There are a lot of ministries. There are a lot of foundations.
Like what? Like what ministry?
There are a lot of ministries.
The Father's House helping our black men
that are out here trying to help people. Again, they want you to feel desensitized, like a lot of black people are, to make you think that black people are not doing nothing. Do you think all of these organizations
what are they doing?
And people in place? I think they're doing a lot.
Name the organization and what are they doing?
Look at what you're doing. Are you doing
something? That's me and you.
but as the scripture depicts, it's not just me and you.
Well, I'm asking
it's a lot of people out here.
They are.
It's a lot of brothers out here.
On a major level. But I don't see nobody protesting, nobody marching, nobody going out there with signs saying black people stop killing your own people at 100 times higher rate.
It's a lot of brothers that are out here trying to do the work.
I understand that.
In the media,
where's the national push on the street?
They want the media to look like that black people are not doing that. And see, that goes back.
Oh, we're not arguing. We're just going back and forth, my brother. We're just having a conversation.
So that's what I'm saying again.
Well, why can't we go to the streets and all this national press on the streets, the courthouses? Why? My question to you is, why are we not doing that when black people are doing it to themselves?
Are you black?
Yes.
So do you feel like that you made any progress as a black person?
Yes.
So do you think you're the only one?
No.
So what has made you think that you're the only one?
Why you can't answer the question?
I'm answering the question if you answer the questions that I'm asking.
I don't ask so many of your questions. You won't even answer the question.
But it's 1 billion plus people in the world.
Right.
So what makes you think that you're the only one?
It ain't about me being the only one doing the work. I ask you a specific question.
My point is
when a white officer gunned down a black police officer, you got protests in the streets, marches, on the court steps. You got lawyers suing people. Why aren't black people doing that when black people are killing each other at an alarming rate? That's the question.
I think they are. I think in the media, again, it went from physical slavery to modern day slavery. And the most effective form of slavery is through the media. Because they want you to believe that it's not black people, it's not a lot of black people that's out here doing things. Brother, it's a whole lot of movements that's out here.
I think you're missing the question.
No, I hear exactly what you're saying. You're saying that there needs to be one big thing.
No, I'm not.
You can't do one big thing.
I'm not saying one big thing. I'm saying there's a national push when a white police officer
And it
kills a
should
black
be.
person. So where is that push when black people are doing it to themselves at a higher rate?
So let me ask you a question.
Well, he ain't gonna answer the question, so we gonna change the subject. You heard me ask him 5 times the same question.
Do you suggest that black people shouldn't do anything when white people kill black people?
No, I'm not saying that at all. It should be the same push if we doing it 100 times more to our own people and ourselves. That's all I'm saying.
But I think that they are. I mean, you got the right to think that they're not.
I don't see them on the streets marching. I don't see them on the courthouse marching. I don't see them talking to government to pass laws or this, that, and the other. I don't see it.
But does there have to be a march to be able to go out and educate the people and do things effectively? I mean, if you look it up, there are a lot of different communities when black violence takes place. It's a lot of mothers that start foundations, put down the gun foundations. Because I've attended a few of them. It don't have to be on a big stage, because you can't be effective on a big stage. They're not gonna let us be effective on a big stage. So you have to do it, teach one, reach one, just like me and you are doing. Just like, in a lot of the other foundations that I found that have done it.
I think we can get a big platform and a big stage. I think we can. I just don't see us coming together doing it. And I do think personally that every time a black person gunned down another black person, I think it should be the same push as it is when that white police officer gunned down a black person, because we're doing it at 100 times worse rate than any white officer doing it to us. We're doing it 100 times worse to ourselves. And I do agree with that, and that's my opinion. And I kind of agree with them white folk for what they said.
I'm sure you do. But I don't even think they have the right to even tell you that. You should have been offended.
No, they do got the right to tell me that, because I asked them the question.
So you should have asked them, what are you doing to help the cause? If you really care so much about black people, what are you doing to help the cause?
What you want them to do when we killing ourselves?
It ain't even about us killing ourselves. If you really care and what you say is valid and you say it out of sincerity, what are you doing as a European to help the cause?
Well, ask them. They looking at you on the camera. Ask them.
No, I'm asking you. You were the
I
one
can't speak for the white people.
You just asked me a question, so I'm implementing the same
I'm
question
not
to you.
European,
You said that you agree with him.
I do agree with him 100%.
He sound like a European, don't he?
Hey, he sound like he European. He won't answer these questions direct.
Well, I feel like that I'm a voice for the black community. And no matter how bad things get, I'm black. And again, I was taught in my household that if me and my brothers and sisters got to fighting inside of the house, that was one thing. But on the outside, if somebody tried to come against me, my sisters and brothers, they would jump them. So I feel like it's the same thing for the white community. If you're so concerned about what happens in the black community, why aren't you as a white person going out making some real changes to help the black community? Until you do that, I don't think you have the right to say what you say. This is my take on it.
Yeah, everybody's entitled to their take. But I think our problems and our black on black crime and black on black violence spills over into their community too, though, so it does affect them.
Brother, spills over into their community.
Our black brothers and sisters are out there robbing white folks, killing. They doing stuff to white folks as well.
But the thing about it, Brother Jefferson, how can you jump through the film? That's just like going to a movie.
Let's say look in the camera.
That's just like going to a movie and not looking at the beginning of the movie, and you jumping all the way to the end of the movie, and you don't even know what happened, what was the narrative.
How long we gonna keep blaming things on slavery?
It's not about blaming things on slavery.